welcome to Thursday's CASEing the Catalogue. Today we're casing from the MINI Catalogue and we're using one of the suites in the stamp set that I absolutely love. It's the Tropical Oasis suite. This one here, this is the card that we're making just down here. Let me bring the card in and quickly show you. So sweet. I'm going to actually change it up just slightly for today's card, so we'll see which one you prefer. Let's get over to the craft table and we'll get started. The supplies for today's card are the Timeless Tropical stamp set with the In the Tropics dies. These can be purchased together in a set, a bundle price. You'll save yourself 10%. I love this set. I think this is going to be really great over the summer here in Australia, and you might see quite a few different cards in this. And if you live in a cooler climate and you're in winter at the moment, this might just bring you a happy smile to yourself, and by creating with this gorgeous set, it'll make you a bit warmer. We're also using the Designer Series paper in the set. It is called Tropical Oasis Designer Series paper. Gorgeous paper as well, lots of flowers and weaves, pineapples, flamingos, absolute fruit, tropical fruit. We're using this designer paper here with the gorgeous Daffodil Delight pineapples. So let's move that to the side. I have the rectangle stitched framelit dies, and I have the fourth smallest in the rectangle dies. One of the parts in the suite is called the Coastal Weave embossing folder. So this one here, love this one. This is going to be really great with the best dress dies to make a gorgeous bag. Inks, we have Pretty Peacock and Calypso Coral, and I'm also using some Stampin' Up markers. We have Granny Apple Green and Soft Suede. Whisper White Baker's Twine and some more Gingham Gala sequins. I'm also using Mossy Meadow ink and a sponge dauber. I'm going to make this card just slightly different to this one here, which is what the catalogue has. I find this just a little bit too plain, so I want to jazz it up just slightly. And to jazz it up, we're also going to need Daffodil Delight ink. So we have the Daffodil Delight here. It's not going to be completely different. I just like a little bit of extra something to the card. So let's see how that turns out. I have my card kit here all ready to go. Now all the measurements and supplies can be found over my blog. There is a link to this blog post in the description of this video. There's also a link to my online store if you live in Australia and would like to purchase supplies to make this card or to make any other card or project. You can do so in my online store. Pop in the hostess code for this month and you'll earn yourself quite a few different rewards from me. For every $50 you'll earn yourself an inky spot, which you'll earn yourself free stamps once you reach a certain level. I'll send you a homemade card or a project in the mail, and I'll also send you via email a bundle tutorial. These are printable PDF tutorials via your inbox, so that's a really great reward as well. Now all through the month of January, February and March, celebration is on, so you can earn yourself free items as well, and these are items that Stampin' Up will give you. For every $90 here in Australia you can earn one free item, so a really great way to earn yourself some free stuff as well. So we have Daffodil Delight card base, and this is half a piece of A4 cut in half, scored in half, and then I'm just going to burnish it. Let's bring the bone folder in and burnish that really well. We have a piece of Whisper White that we're going to do some stamping on. I have a piece of Granny Apple Green that we're going to die cut one of those leaves. A piece of Pear Pizzazz for a gorgeous little detail down the bottom. And this is Pool Party for our sentiment. We're going to start with our stamping first because that's the easiest thing to do, and then we can bring in the big shot to do some die cutting. So on the piece of Whisper White, we have a few things that we need to stamp up. We have the Frangipani stamp, and that's going to be stamped in the Calypso Coral. So let's get that one done really quickly. Love this tropical theme, although I don't like summer very much, but I do like the tropical theme. So then we're going to bring in those palm tree stamp, and this is where we're going to use the markers. So I'm going to bring in that soft suede, and we're using the felt tip end, and I'm just going to colour in the trunk on those two palm trees. Then I'm going to bring in the granny apple green and colour in all those gorgeous leaves of the tree. We're going to bring in a sponge dauber, and we're going to add some Mossy Meadow to the stamp, and this just gives us two-tone colouring. Great way to create a good effect as you're stamping. It gives it a little bit of extra wow. So let's bring the Mossy Meadow in, and I've got my sponge dauber as well. Just going to ink that up. Just going to pop a little bit down. I don't want too much down, and that's probably a little bit too much in some spots, so I'm going to try and take some off. I'm going to huff on it because that reactivates the ink from the markers. And I'm going to stamp that down. And we're going to need 2 of these palm trees. Oh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Love the extra colour in there. So let's go back through, and we're going to do this all over again. So the trunks first. Granny apple green. And you're just going to use your marker on the side to add that colour in. Lots of colour there. Sponge dauber in, a little bit of ink. I'm just adding a little bit in, we don't want a lot in. Huffing again. And let's add that one down. So cute. I'm going to bring the pool party piece in, and we have our sentiment from that stamp set. Our friendship is timeless, and I think that's a lovely sentiment. I'm going to use the Pretty Peacock ink for that one. So just inking that up in the Pretty Peacock, lining that up in the middle. That stamps so beautifully. I love this Pretty Peacock. It's just gorgeous. Okay, so let's bring the big shot in, and we're going to do a little bit of die cutting. So I have my dies here. Let's get out the dies that we need. So we need the palm tree, that little leaf here, and the frangipani. And we have it. So I'm going to line up the frangipani. And also the palm tree, and we're going to have to run this through twice. I'm also going to be able to fit on that piece of granny apple green and run that leaf through as well. Last palm tree, and then we're going to do some embossing as well. So I'm going to open up the platform, and we have the Coastal Leaf embossing folder, and I'm just going to put that piece of Pear Pizzazz through, and this gives such great detail. It's really pretty. Definitely makes me think of the beach, this embossing folder. Just going to stick some pieces of cardstock over the top. And this gives a really great detail. Let's look at this. How amazing is that? Gorgeous. Okay, so we can get rid of the big shot. Let's start popping this. Oh no, hang on, before I do, we do need to cut one more thing, and that is the designer series paper. So we have that gorgeous pineapple designer series paper. I have the 4th smallest rectangle die. And I'm just going to pop that one through as well. And this gives some really great detail around the edge. So I'm going to bring in all our elements again. Now the difference I wanted to make to this card is I thought it just looked a little bit plain. So I'm going to bring in that designer series paper piece. I'm going to bring that frangipani in. I'm just going to clean that Calypso coral off. I'm going to bring the Daffodil Delight ink in. And I just want to add frangipani stamp in the sides there. So just so it's peeking out the sides, and I know you probably can't see that all that well, but I'll show you in just a second. Let me bring that up to show you. That does create quite a big difference, so I really like that little extra detail. We can start popping all our pieces together. So our sentiment, we're going to just create the little banner cut on the end. If you have the banner punch, you could use that for sure. I did clean the glue on my scissors, but there must be still some there because it's still sticking. I'm going to add a little bit of Tombow glue underneath so we can bring in that embossed piece. I'm just going to run a little bit of Tombow down the bottom edge of that banner. That pool party and Pear Pizzazz together looks really pretty, and especially with the pretty peacock inking. Okay, so that's that one, that's that one. I'm going to bring in our now, before I get any further, let's wrap some of that baker's twine, this Whisper White baker's twine, around our DSP, and I'm just going to create a bow on the right hand side here. And we can start adding our other pieces to it. So these palm trees are going to be popped up on the pineapple piece. So let's pop some dimensionals on the palm leaves. There we go. And the other one as well. And they're both sort of just popping off that edge of the designer series paper. The frangipani is going to go over the top, and I'm just going to glue, pop a little bit of Tombow glue down. Because we've already got our palm trees popped up, I actually just want the glue to sit down on the popped up palm trees. Pop the dimensionals under the sentiment. And I've got it so the frangipani sits up on top of the sentiment piece. I found that if we did the leaves and there's a real score line in the middle, I'm just folding that together just to create a little bit of extra depth, and I'm going to just pop a little bit of glue. You can either use Tombow glue or a glue dot. Actually, I might use a glue dot. That way it sticks there and I don't have to hang on to it for a minute. So let's just pop a glue dot down the bottom there. And I'm attaching that to the back of the flower there. That's still got a bit of raised dimension there. Lovely. Okay, so I've glued this one straight down. I'm going to pop it up because everything looks better popped up, doesn't it? It's certainly not going to hurt it. I go through lots and lots of dimensionals, so I think that really makes the card special with a bit of dimension. Let's pop that down. I need to move it over just slightly to the left. Yeah, that's better. And lastly, we're just going to bring in some of those gingham sequins. I'm going to just pop a few of these down. I'll bring it up just so you can see a little bit closer that extra detail with the stamping. I think it looks really pretty. I know it's hard to see with the Daffodil Delight, but that's today's card. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed today's case card. Which did you prefer? The one from the catalogue or the slightly stepped up with a few little frangipanis stamped in the background? This one I think is my favourite. Okay, I've really enjoyed having you here today, so I hope you can come back soon. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. All the measurements and supplies can be found over my blog, and you can purchase any Stampin' Up supplies that you would like if you live in Australia in my online store. Okay, until next time, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.